Hey, what's up, fam? I figured that this chapter of Warden Higuma was gonna be much more like trying to justify the Demon Fox's like mindset and maybe trying to really telling more about the villain, but I think it told more about Higuma more than anything, or Higuma, whatever you fucking want to say. I like Higuma better, but just the whole bits where it was revealed that the demon fox wasn't some little kid. It was actually this adult woman demon fox chick, and it's a very interesting kind of like bit we get about her backstory, while at the same time getting more information about Aguma's character, because it just like how she's trying to justify everything that she's doing. You just get like that pure anger coming off of Higuma of, oh my god, I said Higuma, whatever, of just how many people and their lives have been destroyed just by the demon fox's hands. But you just see that look in her face and the description of how she, her anger and hatred towards like that, the unconditional love that people have with their children, and how when she had hers, she didn't feel that at all. It just felt like a burden. She didn't have any motherly instincts or anything, and it eventually had a point where she just kind of like threw away her child, and those around her just kind of like shunned her and like stoned her and really just kind of like made her out as some monster. And if it was just she doesn't have any motherly instincts and she didn't want the kid, and then she gave it up for adoption, or just left it on someone's doorstep, be like, okay, I can understand how she's like trying to say like because she didn't have these things that people just made her out to be evil. No, I think her like as shown throwing away a child, like a baby, I don't know, in a river or the woods or whatever. I can see why like normal people would be like, yeah, this person's fucked up. We don't want him around. Like up until that point, it was like kind of like giving her sympathy points and just trying to look at it from her point of view. But no, like it very much came out as she's crazy and evil, even when she was human. That's still pretty vile, and that's where it kind of ended for her character. Like trying, at least from what I could see, trying to make her point have any weight behind it, but at that point it just seems completely false, completely full of shit. Whereas Guma is, he actually to get in so he could get the attack off. He lets her just his her attack pierce right through his torso, to where he then uses his I think 11 is the number, that bladed cord uh, runaway spirit from chapter 1, to wrap up her hands, and then have his larger blade cut her hands right off. And that's where it kind of opened up to what I thought was more interesting about Higuma's character. It's just this spread of, he's talking to, I don't remember that guy's name, but that guy he was training with shortly with before he talked to Enma, who just goes like mopping the floor with him. But how for a normal Hell Warden, they just would, see the fugitive spirits as, sinners, as criminals, and, they would do their job accordingly. But with Higuma, he tries to see the point of view and sympath. Oh my god, I'm word failing right now. Sympathize with them, try to pretty much see how their point is, and try and be compassionate towards them. But that's just a trait that he has, and he needs to work through that, because all of these fugitive spirits only kind of, they look at their situation and they 100% think they're justified. They don't try and look at any of the negative aspects of what they're doing. They think everything they do is fine. And that really kind of showed here, where even though it was kind of looking like there was some, at least at the start, reason for their anger, that it kind of fell apart. We kind of saw that with the Diamond Raven, when he was like explaining like, I need this, I just want to live, and I do it in a way that he did it in a way that was trying to at least in his head be uh, in a fair way, to where he's being merciful, I guess, to like these old people who don't have much time left. Whereas in reality, he was he was just trying to justify what he was doing, and it started to come off more of evil at the end. Just that kind of started out idea of, oh yeah, it's not that bad, and then it just got worse as it went. That's kind of like what we saw with this the demon fox. Is just they're corrupted down to like their basic thoughts, and it's just like their picture of what's going on. And just kind of like further down the line, I guess that's going to be Higuma's thing for his character is just his compassion and trying to see exactly what other characters are going through, and just being a very, very sympathetic guy. And we saw that as well when he was talking to, oh my God, what was her name again? I got her name almost almost in my head, and then he started calling her her last name, so I started to forget again whatever her name is. The girl that the demon fox possessed. And you just had a really nice moment where she like reflects on what's progressed from her life thanks to Higuma when she was talking to him at a younger age, where Ayane is now talking to him. I'm guessing is where we're gonna find out more about his backstory when she's like talking about how even though he puts on a face, he puts on this charade that he doesn't actually like being a Hell Warden. He doesn't like doing what he's doing. He's fighting against this mindset he has, this very, very important piece to who he is, this, very large concept of sympathy. But, he's got to fight through it to do the work. And they can tell that he doesn't like it. He doesn't like doing it, but she's trying to figure out why he pushes through that and does it anyway. So we're probably going to find out more. We know there's something in his backstory that will have something to do with his I'm guessing his grandfather, because we know that he's got some emotional attachment specifically to grandparents from the whole Diamond Raven, just to see like seeing his reaction when the guy was trying to justify the old people. They're already on their way out. They won't miss it. They don't they don't really matter at this point, and it's just that kind of look on his face when you were trying to justify it with him. And so hopefully we figure that out relatively soon. It was a really good moment for his character though, of just like figuring out how he thinks, but at the same time the fact that he acknowledges he's got to pretty much push aside how he feels, and the whole bit about how the dude trained him for his body to keep moving even though he emotionally would be staggered. So tell me in the comments what you think about Hellward Naguma so far. We're still in these early bits with some of these series like Hellward Naguma and Chainsaw Man, so it's very much not like something like Black Clover where it's like, oh my God, how is this going to affect the story? What's going to happen next? How are all these things going to be? Whereas you know this story on a large scale, and you have the mindset of how things are and where things are relatively going. But obviously with these new series, you're getting all this new information. You're still getting introduced to a lot of the early like basic stuff. So it's very much more of how you think about the series as a whole right now with Chainsaw Man, Hellward, and Naguma. So, like I said, tell me in the comments below what you think about this. And I really appreciate if you'd befriend the like button, thumbs it up, befriend it, and as well as the subscribe button. Check out my other videos and content, see if there's anything else you enjoy. And I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.